Hello guys, and we're here today with the one and only BLS Ritual deck, and I am going to admit it right here, right now, this is more of a novelty deck, because this is a 4-card combo to get off. It's an amazing 4-card combo, to an extent. You can't protect it, there is no good way to protect it unless you decide to run Forbidden Lance or something, or monster effects. So, it's really good, it can really OTK, it can really do a lot of stuff, but there isn't a good way to protect it. There is a counter trap though, where if you control a BLS, you can negate a monster spell or a trap effect. But we're running Lights Ones. Like, you can't play this deck with the counter trap because then you just mill it. So let's just go all in. 1 BLS and 3 Chaos Swords. So these guys are to banish these guys, so that way you can search for your rituals. When these guys are banished, they will search out a ritual monster or ritual spell card, so you could have run other rituals if you really wanted to. And then they're just great at banishing other cards. Raiden, of course, is to help us mill. What we want to mill is, of course, these guys to one extent or another, or Soul of the Supreme Soldier. So that's what you're hoping to mill, and these guys just help out. They also let you get off some draw power and search power with the Solar Recharge and Charge of the Light Brigade. And then 3 Lila, because we really have no answer to back row, and Lila isn't even that good of an answer to back row, but she's there just to, hopefully, maybe she might pop something. And then Night of the Beginning and Night of the Evening Twilight. Night of the Beginning, if you banish it, you get a search ritual spell card. It is light. That is something to note. If you ritual summon a BLS with it, you can. That BLS gets effect, you can banish one monster your opponent controls, regardless of position. And if it destroys a monster by battle and sends it to the graveyard, it can attack again in a row. So if it attacks a pendulum, nothing's gonna happen. If it attacks any other type of monster, then he will be able to attack twice. And Night of the Evening Twilight, if you banish it, you can add a ritual monster from your deck to hand. And if you can banish, again, you can banish one monster your opponent controls, regardless of position, and banish one random card from your opponent's hand face down until their end phase. You can activate all 3 effects, actually all 4 effects. So you can banish a monster, you can banish 2 monsters your opponent controls, attack a monster, send it to the graveyard, attack another monster, and then banish 1 card from your opponent's hand. So you can do all of that. So you can get rid of a lot, you can put your opponent in really bad position if you can get it off. But with people running time space, and once Solemn Notice comes out, and it's just not, there's just going to be too much back row for this deck to handle. And then of course Illumina for the Lights One engine. Soul of the Supreme Soldier, you can ditch him to have him have 3000 attack and become a BLS, but what you want him to do is to banish him from the graveyard, so that way you can add a Beginning Night or Evening Twilight Night, one of these guys, to your hand, so that way you can go off. And then Blackluster Soldier, the Super Soldier. His own effect is if he destroys a monster by battle and sends it to the graveyard, he can inflict damage equal to that monster's attack. So you will be doing 3000 damage most of the time, altogether with the battle damage, and then whatever it is, because battle damage is 3000 minus the attack, and then you're adding that attack, so they cancel out, so it'll be 3000 damage your opponent will take. So really good. If you mill all 3 of them, well then you go on to game 2. I am not kidding. There's just no way to get them back in this deck unless you can get Omega out and then make him hit the graveyard, so that way you can return him. But he's still very useful. He also had the other effect where if he is then destroyed by your opponent's card effect and sent to the graveyard, you can spell somehow Gaia the Fierce Knight, but we don't run Gaia. Solar Recharge and Charge of the Light Brigade again for our Lights One engine. Instant Fusion, because Nodin's actually not that bad in this deck, helps us with making our level 8 synchros or our rank 4 plays, such as Minerva, who's really good in this deck. Origeki, the one Rhoda who can search out either Raiden or your Knights. Upstarts for consistency, if you want to, you can put in Chicken Game. For more consistency, Foolish, you can send the Knights of Beginnings or the Night of Even Twilight or this card to search those cards out. It depends on what you're looking for. If you're looking for the Ritual Monster and Ritual Spell card, you should be sending these guys so that way you can set up for a Chaos or a Blackluster Soldier play. If you're doing okay with these, then you should send Soul of the Supreme Soldier so that way you can search. 3 Charge of the Light Brigade so that way we can search out our Lights Ones, and then mill even more. And Supreme Warrior Ritual, it can be used for any BLS. We only have 1 type of BLS, so you're only going to use it for that. It must be exactly 8, which makes this extremely hard. to get off. You can't do anything weird with it. Or you can banish one light and dark monster from your graveyard, and you can special summon one from your hand. So if you mill it and you draw into a BLS, it's all good. You can banish one of these guys and then summon out BLS, and then they will search out another copy of Supreme Warrior Ritual and another copy of BLS Super Soldier, and then if you can get another copy of those cards to your hand, then you are in a good position. Now, before I go on to the X deck, I want to mention something. Nekroz are dead. This deck cannot run Jin Release of Rituals. It should come off the list at 1. Not at 3 like it was, at 1. This deck can't make use of Jin at all, because it has to be exactly 8. So either you have to run one of these guys and then plop in Spear Kuriboh or something like that, or find a level 5 to run. Like, no, you're not going to be able to do it. It's be way too complicated. You'll only get one of these monsters effects, so it probably not at the beginning. So actually both of these are pretty good effects. So, and even then, Jin I don't think would do so much. So let's make a bad mechanic in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! That's just got wrecked, because now that the only deck that actually could play the mechanic well is dead. Let's make the mechanic decent. Yeah, Colossalist plus Jin. People could tech that in, but I don't think people will. If people were going to tech in Nekroz, they would tech in Unicorn, even if despite the fact that he's at 1. So Jin needs to come off the list because it's a really bad mechanic. The Kingdom's somewhat good. I mean, again, Raigeki Dark Hole will destroy your field, even if you have Jin. So I feel Jin needs to come off the list. It won't do anything with BLS. It'll be way too ridiculous to run it with BLS. And so it would just help out with all those really old, crazy ritual decks such as Relinquished, or maybe you're running Hamburger or whatever his face. And so, just something to think about. Nekroz are dead. Why don't we have Jin? And then for our extra deck, we have, of course, the Institution Target Nodin. And then for our level 8 Synchros, we have Scarlet, Crimson, Omega, who can be really good just returning our banished cards to the graveyard so that way we can use them again, such as also Supreme Soldier. And then Stardust Spark, he's great to protect your BLS. Michael, who can banish back row, which is very important, so if you can get him off, that's really, really good. And he'll still mill, so you can still get your grave to go up. So that's good. Clearing, and then Moonlit, and then Black Rose, just 2 for level 7 Synchros with Lila, just so that way we can make some good plays. And then for our rank 4s, we have Dark Rebellion 101, Castell, just the generics because Excitoknight is banned. Minerva, who can mill 3 more, and if she's destroyed by battle or by card effect of your opponent, you can send the top 3 and destroy up to the number of Lightsworn cards. And don't you draw equal to the number of Lightsworns you mill? Yeah, then draw cards equal to, so you mill 3 using her effect, and then you can, if she's destroyed, you can mill 3, and then either draw or destroy cards depending on how many Lightsworns you mill. So that can be really good. You could mill 3 Lightsworns and then draw another 3. So, which will probably not happen, but it'd still be pretty cool to have that happen. And then Abyss Dweller to stop your opponent's plays, maybe Cosmos. And then Dante, Lumina into Lumina, and then into Raiden, of course, or Lila. And then you can make it Dante. You mill another 3. He's just there. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this deck profile. Again, Jin should be at 1. Jin should definitely be at 1 now that Nekroz are dead. Because now Rituals are dead. Like, there's this deck, but it's a 4-card combo. I mean, if you have, like, these 2 cards in your hand, and then another one of those 2 cards banished, and then you have a Chaos Sorcerer, that's 3 cards, at least, in your hand. You need those other 2 cards to be in the graveyard to just instantly have the combo. So it's extremely difficult. I don't want to bash this deck. It is extremely fun. It can be extremely crazy. It can OTK like crazy because you banish 2 monsters, destroy 2 monsters by battle, inflicting 3,000 damage each, and then get to banish 1 card from your opponent's hand. That's really good. Other changes to this deck, you could run Felgrand, but then you'd have to get rid of your BLS, so that's just something to think about. 101 isn't that bad in the deck, because you don't want to mill on the field. If you're going to run 101, you may want to put in some level 5 Synchros and maybe Trishula, so that way you can make them. So just some different things to think about. Hope you guys enjoyed this Spectrum Fall. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and stay tuned for some more duels with this deck that will be coming up tomorrow. So, see you guys later.